everybody, Susan here, and today I'm going to teach you how to make these coffee pot cake pops, just like that one. So yeah, please stay tuned and watch the rest of the video to learn how to do it, and read the description below for all of the ingredients and information that you're going to be needing throughout this tutorial. Enjoy, I hope you like it! We take our cake and frosting mixture. Here's mine, I mean just a little bit. And you take a little bit out for your first cake pop. I think about that much will do. Just going to round this out into a circle. Something like that. Then, once I have my circle, I want to just flatten out the top and bottom just a little bit so it kind of gets that shape of a teapot. So it looks like a teapot sitting on something. So there we go. Just flatten it out just a little. That way I have a surface on the top to place the tea kettle cap or lid. And of course the bottom looks like the tea kettle is sitting on some table or something. So that's the ideal shape. Okay, so my cake pops have been chilling in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes. So they're nice and chill and ready to be dipped. My chocolate seems to be nice and smooth, so you can sort of see. All right, so next, I'm gonna take a little bit of chocolate on my cake pop stick and pierce it right through the bottom of my cake pop, but not all the way through, maybe just about halfway through, because you don't want to pierce out from the other side, obviously. Also, you'll see there's like a little bit of a chocolate raised area right here. When this cools down, it will just cool that way, and when you go to dip it, you'll have this uneven bump at the bottom, and I don't like that. So what I tend to do is just take a little brush while the chocolate's still warm and just kind of flatten it out, just like that, so it smooths. It's a smoother surface right onto my cake pop. Okay, so now my cake pops are ready to chill just a little bit more so that the sticks get nice and firm in the cake pops. And now that they're ready, we're going to dip. So I'll take one. It's nice and firm. Here's my melted chocolate. And I'm going to dip. And we'll just tap all the excess off. Twirling it around. And this part takes a lot of patience, so just be patient. You want it to coat fully and yet you want it to look good, so don't rush this and don't start banging really hard, because then you're just going to drop the cake off of the stick and you do not want that. Just be patient. Sometimes you can take a brush and kind of clean up that bottom edge just a little bit. Don't make it too obvious because then it won't look good. Plus, you can clean up your stick a little. I tend to do that because I want my sticks to look good. So, just clean up what I can. And it's always helpful to have a cup of water, warm water, with you so that you can clean your brush. I don't have one right now, as you can see, and that's why I'm struggling to clean off my brush. So, there we go. Nice and clean. There's my first one. Okay, so now that my cake pops have been dipped, they are in the refrigerator cooling, and I'm going to work on tinting some fondant. Right here what I've done is poured out my leftover melted chocolate onto parchment paper so that it will dry and then I can store it and use it later. But I'm going to keep it here for now because I'm about to tint my fondant and I want to compare the color and make sure I'm coming as close as I can to it. So what I've done right now is already added a little bit of pink so that it's nice and smooth, one color. But the color still is not right. My pink is a little bit more vintagey, I guess you could say, or dusty, and this is still a little too bright. So I'm going to try to mix in some other colors to see if I can get this to the right tone. So here we go. By adding just a little bit of a merry color, red, I got just the perfect consistency. Okay, so now that my cake pops are nicely dipped and my fondant is at a perfect color, I'm going to start making the lid and handle and spout. So I'm just going to take a little bit of fondant right there, round it out, put it down. Now you don't have to use these guides. I'm going to use a thicker guide actually, but since I have these guides, I'm going to use them. We're going at about a quarter of an inch thickness, and we're going to take just that little bit and roll it out. That's pretty good. There's that thickness I was talking about. Okay, so I don't have my smallest round cutter anymore, so I'm going to use the bottom portion of a decorator's tip right here, if I could just grab it. So I'm going to make a little cut like that. There we go. Put that aside. Okay, so I'm going to use this as my lid on my coffee pot, but I want this to ideally be a little bit wider than this. Since I don't have the right cutter, I'm going to put on my smaller guides. These are about 1/8 of an inch thick, and I'm going to try to widen this up just a little bit more. Now be really careful when doing this. Go a little bit this way, go a little bit this way, because you don't want to lose that circular shape by just elongating it or whatever. There we go. Go in every direction once. There we go. That's perfect. So this is my teapot lid. Now the lid requires a little handle, so we're going to make a small little ball. Take just a little bit of fondant. Maybe that's even too big. Make it a little smaller. Okay, and we'll round this up. Something like that. There we go, nice and round. So this eventually, when it dries, will sit right on top like that and be your topper. So we'll leave those now to dry, and we will make our handle. So for the handle, again, just a little bit of fondant. Roll it out into a circle first. Kind of a circle. And then start elongating it this way. Try to make this as even as you can. Okay, that's probably way too long, so we'll cut this a little bit with a butter knife. Okay, so now we'll use some tools. If you have a tool like this with a thin cylinder shape, you can use this. Or if not, you can use your brush bottoms as well. That works just fine, no problem. Use either one. So now we're going to make our handle. So we'll just start curving it like this. Little at the top, little at the bottom. Just like that. Okay. Okay, so we'll let this dry. Okay, so next we're going to make the spout, and this is just like the handle. You take a little bit again, roll it into a ball as best as you can. That's huge. Wow, so sorry. Much smaller than that. Just go like that. Okay. Now you want to elongate this. So let's go into a cylinder. Something like that. Okay, now this is way too long, so we will cut this. Maybe about here is good. We'll use this half. So now take your little tool. Any tool is fine. And what you're going to do is make this into an S for the spout. So first start with the top, like that. Now the bottom. Something like that. It's pretty good. And then make sure you have a flat edge right here, right there, because that's where you're going to try to glue this onto your cake pop, and you want to make sure there's a good finished surface there, or a good flat surface there. And there you go. So now we let that dry as well. Next, you are going to glue on the tiny round ball that you created onto the flat round surface you made out of fondant. For this, you will be using Dab and Hold adhesive glue. This is an edible glue. Dab a little bit on a surface, and using a paintbrush, apply some to the bottom surfaces of your fondant pieces, like I have done here. Place that right onto your cake pop, and you have created your coffee pot lid. Using a brush, slightly press down until you're sure that it has adhered to your cake pop. Next, put some adhesive on the ends of your cake pop handle and glue that right onto your cake pop, pressing down gently and holding still for about 30 seconds until you are sure that your piece has glued on. You can use a brush to press down gently. Be careful not to misalign it or to lose its shape. Make sure it's straight on all sides. Now take your spout, dab some glue with your brush onto the end, as well as the curved surface at the top. Then glue both those pieces or both those surfaces onto your cake pop. Press down gently with your brush and hold still for about 30 seconds, and then there you go. So as a final step, if you wanted to, you can use some Petal Dust and Luster Dust. And so what you'll do is just mix just a little bit of each in separate plates with some alcohol, as I have already done. And so I use the Petal Dust to kind of bring out more of a vibrant pink color that's uniform throughout my entire coffee pot. That way, if there was any subtle difference between my fondant and my chocolate, you couldn't tell anymore because I just painted it all with the same bright, vibrant pink color. And then what I did was take the Luster Dust, which is this really pretty gold color, and I finished it off by painting, as you can see, the lid and just a little bit of the handle here and the spout here. And so that's pretty much it. That's how I finished off this coffee pot cake pop. So that's it. I hope you like it. Here is a final picture of what we did today. Thank you all so much for being here and for watching my video, and I hope you liked it. Please stay tuned and I'll do some more for you. Thanks. Bye.